What's up, guys? Blade Master here. You're watching the Wolf of Freeman's Total War channel, and this is Total War Rome 2 Battle Replay, and this is on the Emperor Edition um, version of the game. And in this one, I'm fighting Attila the Great, and we are playing in the map of Dimidi. It's a fun name to pronounce, Dimidi, Dimidu. Anyways, it's a pretty barren map. I guess that's the city of Dimidi. Let's try and see if we can go over there. No. Yeah. Ooh. Wow. Thanks, debug cam. Oh, that's the max that we can go to. Anyways, I'm playing as the Lusitani, and he has taken Syracuse. So two HATG factions gonna fight up against each other, and this is gonna be just a mini review on the new on the changes to the Lusitani faction. But before that, let's go over my build. I've taken 4 Balearic Slingers, and I've only taken 2 Cantabrian Cav as my sole cavalry force. So to counter the lack of cavalry, I've also brought a whole bunch of spears. So I've brought a couple of Lusitani nobles up in the center, and then I've interspersed Scutari spears and Lusitani spears with my veteran shield warriors. So I've got a couple of Scutari spearmen on the flanks, and then a couple of stronger Lusitani spearmen among my sword units. And then behind them, I've got a couple of Lusitani guerrillas. And my Cantabrian Cav are going to immediately move up and try and induce him to attack. Meanwhile, he's brought a Syracusan pike line, so 3 regular pikes, and then 5 archers for 220 cost. And he's also brought a couple of mercenary veteran hoplites. So these are very strong hoplites. But other than them, he hasn't brought any mercenary companions who could have been incredibly powerful against my faction. Instead of them, he's brought a couple of Hippeus Lancers, 2 Citizen Cav. He's brought 3 Hippeus Lancers, including 1 Hippeus Lancer Gen, 3 mercenary Samnites, and finally 1 militia hoplite unit. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to encircle him with my Cantabrian Cav, and then while my slingers lay waste to his 5 archers, my 4 Balearic Slingers should be more than enough to deal with them. Meanwhile, my Cantabrian Cav should be able to get some rear shots in on his general and his high value units. So what's different with the Lusitani? Well, one thing that's changed from patch 15 beta is that they've removed headhunt from veteran shield warriors. This is a terrible step from CA in my opinion, because it was one of the few things that actually made Lusitani a very viable faction to pick, and it also increased the balance of these underused factions in the game. So it would have led to us seeing more of these fun factions like Lusitani, who clearly have disadvantages, but they also have very strong advantages too. But now that they've removed headhunt from these what used to be incredibly cost-effective mid-tier units, it's a big step back. So it's 1 step forward, 1 step back in this Emperor edition. That's what my general opinion is. So anyways, he has moved a couple of his archers to deal with my Cantabrian Cav, and that's a great use for of these Cantabrian Cav in the first place, because now my Balearic Slingers can freely focus on his 3 remaining archers, and they're just going to smash through them. You can see that, let's try and see, there are only a couple of kills on, a couple of casualties on my Balearics, and meanwhile, his archers are dying very, very quickly. They don't have any shields, so, they're going to die very quickly to Slinger fire. I've also put quick reload. These are one of the few Slinger units that do have quick reload, so that's another bonus in their favor. So you can see a couple of his archers are already wavering. One of them has shattered. And that's because he has limited skirmish fire capabilities now. He has moved 2 of his archers to support this, brought them back, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move back and keep skirmishing. Meanwhile, I'm giving more time for my Cantabrian Cav to harass his cavalry force. So just moving back, giving some time for my Cantabrian Cav to wreak havoc on his lines, just split them apart more and more. So you can see his pike line and his skirmish line. Well, his skirmish line is non-existent now, but some of his cav have been, they're focusing on my Cantabrian Cav. Now he's moving very aggressively with his pikes and his militia hoplites. So I'm just going to keep moving my men back, and meanwhile I've put my Scutari spearmen on the sides, and here you can see these guerrillas, Lusitani guerrillas too. They're just like showering javelins. A whole bunch of these Lusitani infantry can shower javelins at increased range. So he's circling around with his cav, which is a good use of his cav. But now his very vulnerable archers are going to be charged at by my Cantabrian cav. So I've set attack orders, some charge orders on them. And meanwhile, I'm just engaging his pikes, just moving in with my Lusitani spearmen to hold them up. And I've left my much more precious veteran shield warriors to deal with the 2 or 3 shock cav units that he has. So here they're already starting to shower their javelins on them, and I've turned around my Balearic slingers to attack them, and now I'm going to move them in between my spear lines and my sword lines so that they don't get charged at by Samnite warriors. But in the end, the increased maneuverability of his cav has led to him charging in and attacking some of my Balearics. They have got quite a few kills, but not enough. Now I have to charge in and just chase off these citizen cav who would do very well against them. But meanwhile, good news for me, I've trapped his Hippeus lances and they've died. I killed off his archers, and now I'm going to charge in with my Cantabrian cav onto his pike line. Cantabrian cav are not good at melee, but one unit that they would do well against is rear charging pikes. So you can see some of them have started to waver already. Meanwhile, it's just a huge cluster over here. I've caught some of his Samnites who would last a really long time against both my Scutari spearmen and my veteran shields. Meanwhile, his less than half strength general is charging into my Balearics, and he's just going to destroy them. He does have basically one full strength, almost full strength, Hippeus Lancer unit, which is going to charge in. But here, my Lusitani nobles are going to do much better against his infantry line than any other type of infantry unit. More rear charges from my Cantabrian cav. My Lusitani spearmen are dying, but it's okay. They've held up the line very well, and they've allowed for many rear charges against his pikes, and that's exactly what these guys are going to be doing. My Cantabrian cav, for a change, have done really well. 72 kills in a single chevron on one of them, and 106 on the other. So they've destroyed his archers and they've rear charged some of his pikes. So they were very useful in this match. Here, his Samnites are going to charge up against my veteran shield warriors, and they will lose eventually against my veteran shields. One thing that has changed, I believe, is that these veteran shields have 77 melee defense, which is absolutely incredible. So they will last a while. It's not like they're a lower strength Odrysian kingdom. They are completely different in that they have enough melee strength or melee defense for them to last a really long time in engaged melee. Here, Lusitani nobles are going to chase off some of his Samnites who are just trying to get in on this cluster here. Meanwhile, I've ganged up and destroyed the rest of his pikes. I do have one Balearic slinger who's just going to be shooting at these mercenary veteran hoplites. These are another unit that will last a really long time in battle. Cantabrian cav just engaging the last unit of his archers who got back from routing. And here these Lusitani nobles are going to charge up against his Samnites, attack them from the flank. So it's not going to go very well for him at this point. These Samnites look really nice, and they're not going to last very long, despite the fact that they're quite strong tanks. Against Lusitani nobles with their headhunt, they're not going to last very long at all. My full strength Lusitani Gen, who has got a single chevron, I believe all his 41 kills were from Hippeus Lancers. He's going to charge in on this. My veteran shield warriors have died eventually because they got attacked in the rear for some reason. That's weird. So I've popped in Warcry against these mercenary veteran hoplites. So they're going to rear charge his mercenary veteran hoplites, and with that, Warcry and the fact that he's lost a lot of his army, it's going to just help in just mass routing the last of his forces. So here, one of his mercenary veteran hoplites is still engaged in melee, and they're not routing. I don't know why. But anyways, the game is basically done. Let's get some nice action shots of some spear on spear action. I think Scutari spearmen versus mercenary veteran hoplites. I think Scutari, yeah. They ganged up on them, and that was the end of the battle. So very well played to Attila, and I'm quite happy that this unconventional Lusitani build has managed to be successful. Balearic Slingers did very well against his archers, but the fact that they got charged in very early meant that they couldn't have contributed as much as they could have. My Lusitani nobles did really well, 159 and 84 kills on either on both of them, and double and single chevron each. Lusitani spearmen are very strong units, 139 kills on one, and the one that was held up against his pikes got only 52 kills. But still, I mean, for 700 cost, they're one of the best mid-tier barbarian spear units that you can get. My Scutari spearmen did quite well too. And despite the fact that they don't have headhunt, my veteran shield warriors also did quite well. But the only reason they did well is because they fought up against hoplites and Samnite warriors, whom they should beat in any case. His build was kind of unorthodox. I was really expecting him to bring a companion cav. Maybe he traded them. I don't know why he brought mercenary veteran hoplites against Lusitani. But they did do well. I mean, 110 and 130 kills on them each. So, I mean, they didn't do too bad. His Hippeus Lancers are still not a viable unit to take, as you can see. 89 kills and 7 kills and 79 each. They just aren't worth the cost still. Anyways, guys, that's the end of this battle. Hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for more. Peace.